Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Abhineet Shukla with the evening news. The headlines. Polling for fourth phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh concludes. Around 58% voter turnout recorded till 5 p.m. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Nari Shakti is a major pillar of the rural economy. Addresses webinar on budget announcements in rural development sector. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia releases Harvard study reports on India's COVID-19 vaccination program. Says it will help to understand country's vaccination journey and fight against pandemic. India is now an attractive hub for foreign investments in manufacturing sector, says Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh. In Gujarat, state board exams of class 10th and 12th will be conducted from March 28 to April 12. In Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot restores old pension scheme for employees appointed after January 1, 2004, presents budget for financial year 2022-23. Latest edition of Indian Navy's multilateral exercise Milan 2022 to commence from Friday at Visakhapatnam. Enforcement Directorate arrests senior NCP leader and Maharashtra's Minorities Affairs Minister Nawab Malik in connection with money laundering case. Spain women's hockey team arrives in Bhubaneswar for FIH Pro League matches against India. And in cricket, India-Sri Lanka 3-match T20 International Series begins in Lucknow tomorrow. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, to get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Polling completed peacefully for the fourth phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. In this phase, 59 seats of 9 districts of the state went for poll. The 9 districts which went for poll today are Pilibhit, Lakhimpur, Sitapur, Hardoi, Unnao, Lucknow, Rai Bareli, Banda and Fatehpur. These districts are spread from Tarai region to Awadh and till Bundelkhand. The average voter turnout registered till 5 p.m. in this phase was around 58%. In the wake of the COVID pandemic, all necessary arrangements were made for a free and fair corona-free polling. A report.
Long queues were seen from early morning at the polling booths, which indicated the enthusiasm of the voters in this phase of elections in state. Barring few sporadic incidents, voting was peaceful in fourth phase. Voters came out in large numbers to exercise their franchise. This phase has decided the political fate of 624 candidates, including many ministers of the state government like Ashutosh Tandon, Brajesh Pathak, Jai Pratap Singh, wife of Union Minister Kaushal Kishore, Jaya Devi, Samajwadi Party leaders and former ministers Ravidas Mehrotra, Abhishek Mishra, youngest SP candidate in this fray, Pooja Shukla, BSP leader Gaya Charan Dinkar, Congress candidate and mother of Unnao rape victim Asha Singh. In the last assembly elections, BJP got 51 out of 59 seats, while Samajwadi Party bagged 4 and Congress and BSP got 2 seats each. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Campaigning has intensified for the other phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. Senior BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed the political rally in Barabanki and Kaushambi districts. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said that BJP government is developing Kaushambi region through the Budh Circuit scheme. He said that government is running many schemes for poor and marginalized section of the society. He said that BJP has brought One Nation, One Ration card scheme so that poor families can get ration anywhere in the country. Senior BJP leaders Rajnath Singh and BJP President JP Nadda also addressed political rallies in the state. On the other hand, Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav campaigned for party candidates in Gonda and Bahraich districts and said that BJP is going to lose this political battle because all sections of the society are against them. Congress leaders Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also campaigned for party candidates in Amethi today.
In Manipur, with just few days left for the first phase of polls, campaigning has reached feverish pitch with senior leaders and star campaigners from various political parties rushing in the state to woo the voters for their candidates. Today, senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah reached Imphal to campaign for party candidates in various parts of the state. More from our correspondent.
Calling upon the Kuki youth to come out and join the national mainstream, senior BJP leader Amit Shah said that BJP will facilitate them in joining the mainstream under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said that more than 9,500 cadres of different underground groups gave up arms and joined the national mainstream in the region during NDA regime. He further said that Mr. Modi, after becoming the Prime Minister, has been focusing on the development of Northeast, including Manipur, on top priority. Mr. Amit Shah said that Mr. Modi is the only Prime Minister who has visited the Northeast region more than 40 times. Gindangke, AIR News, Imphal.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said, Union Budget 2022 has laid a specific roadmap for development of rural areas, Northeast and aspirational districts.
इस बजट में सरकार द्वारा सैचुरेशन के इस बड़े लक्ष्य को हासिल करने के लिए एक स्पष्ट रोड मैप दिया गया है। बजट में पीएम आवास योजना, ग्रामीण सड़क योजना, जल जीवन मिशन, नॉर्थ ईस्ट की कनेक्टिविटी, गांवों की ब्रॉडबैंड कनेक्टिविटी, ऐसी हर योजना के लिए जरूरी प्रावधान किया गया है।
Addressing a webinar on budget announcements in the rural development sector, the Prime Minister stressed on the need to sketch a new image of rural India by educating the rural population on new age technologies for farmers and new methods of farming. He said, digitization of land records and connecting the efforts of demarcation with technology is the need of the hour.
गांवों के विकास में वहां घर और जमीन की प्रॉपर डिमार्केशन बहुत आवश्यक है। स्वामित्व योजना से इसमें बहुत मदद मिल रही। लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स के रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए एक नेशनल सिस्टम और एक यूनिक लैंड आइडेंटिफिकेशन पिन एक बहुत बड़ी सुविधा होगी। रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट पर सामान्य ग्रामीण की निर्भरता कम से कम हो, हमें ये सुनिश्चित करना है। लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स के डिजिटाइजेशन और डिमार्केशन से जुड़े समाधानों को आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी से जोड़ना आज की जरूरत है।
The Prime Minister said, broadband connectivity will not only provide facilities in the villages, but will also help in creating a large pool of skilled youth in the villages. He also emphasized the need for proper awareness regarding proper use of the broadband capabilities where the work is already completed. Mr. Modi said, the Vibrant Village program announced in the budget is very important for the development of the country's border villages. Mr. Modi said, Nari Shakti is a major pillar of the rural economy and financial inclusion has ensured greater participation of women in households in economic decisions. Talking about the Jal Jeevan Mission, the Prime Minister asked the states to enhance efforts.
जल जीवन मिशन के तहत लगभग 4 करोड़ कनेक्शन देने का टारगेट हमने रखा है। इस टारगेट को हासिल करने के लिए आपको अपनी मेहनत और बढ़ानी होगी। मेरा हर राज्य सरकार से ये भी आग्रह है कि जो पाइपलाइन बिछ रही है, जो पानी आ रहा है, उसकी क्वालिटी पर भी हमें बहुत ध्यान देने की जरूरत है। गांव के स्तर पर लोगों में एक सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप आए, वाटर गवर्नेंस को बल मिले, ये भी इस योजना का एक लक्ष्य है। हमें 2024 तक हर घर तक नल से जल पहुंचाना है।
The Prime Minister suggested many ways of improving governance for rural development from his experience. The Prime Minister reiterated the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas and Sabka Prayas as inspiration behind all the policies and actions of the government.
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 176 crore 47 lakh today. Health Ministry said more than 26 lakh 88,000 vaccine doses were administered today. More than 1 crore 94 lakh precaution doses have been administered to identified categories of beneficiaries like healthcare workers, frontline workers and people over 60 years of age. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia today released Harvard study reports on India's COVID-19 vaccination program. These reports highlight the crucial aspects that have contributed to the success of country's COVID-19 vaccines development and administration efforts. The reports focus on manufacturing of indigenous vaccines and timely procedures that ensured safe administration of vaccination across the various age groups. Speaking on this occasion, Dr. Mansukh Mandviya said these reports will help the citizens and the world to understand country's vaccination journey and the fight against the COVID pandemic.
The Enforcement Directorate has arrested senior NCP leader and Maharashtra's Minorities Affairs Minister Nawab Malik in connection with a money laundering case linked to fugitive terrorist Dawood Ibrahim. Earlier today, the Enforcement Directorate had summoned Mr. Malik and questioned him for close to 7 hours. The latest edition of Indian Navy's multilateral exercise Milan 2022 is scheduled to commence from the 25th of this month in Visakhapatnam. Milan 22 is being conducted over a duration of 9 days in 2 phases, with the harbour phase scheduled from 25th to the 28th of February and sea phase from 1st to 4th March. Indian Navy said India is celebrating the 75th year of its independence in 2022, and Milan 22 provides an opportunity to commemorate this milestone with our friends and partners. The theme of the Milan 2022 exercise is camaraderie, cohesion, collaboration, which aims to project India as a responsible maritime power to the world at large.
Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh said that India is now an attractive hub for foreign investments in the manufacturing sector. He said with emerging technologies like blockchain, nanotechnology, quantum computing, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, India aspires to be in the league of top 25 innovation nations. He was speaking at the 28th edition of DST CII India-Singapore Technology Summit today. In Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot presented the budget for the financial year 2022-23 in the Assembly today. Presenting a separate agriculture budget for the first time, the Chief Minister announced several schemes for agriculture, animal husbandry and irrigation. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister has announced to restore the old pension scheme for the employees appointed after January 2004. Mr. Gehlot said that 2,000 new Mahatma Gandhi English medium schools would be opened and the annual medical insurance cover under Mukhyamantri Chiranjeevi Swasthya Bima Yojana would be increased from 5 lakh rupees to 10 lakh. It has been proposed to provide smartphones to women heads of 1 crore 33 lakh families with internet connectivity for 3 years under Mukhyamantri Digital Seva Yojana and government job to 1 lakh youth in the budget. The ruling party has welcomed the budget while the opposition has criticized, saying that the government has no concrete strategy to take the announcements on the ground. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
The Gujarat Secondary and Higher Secondary Education Board GSEB has declared the schedule for Class 10th and 12th board exams. As per the timetable released today, Class 10th and Class 12th board exams will be conducted from March 28 to April 12. The SSC exams and HSC exam 2022 for Science and General Stream will commence from March 28, while the vocational examination will be held from April 4, 2022. Students can download the GSEB Timetable 2022 from the official website gseb.org. National Commission for Minorities NCM has received 1,850 petitions till date in the year 2021-22, out of which over 1,000 have been disposed of. The Commission said that reports have been called from concerned authorities on 514 cases and the remaining 270 cases are under process.
Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw will release National Strategy on Additive Manufacturing tomorrow. This will cater next-generation digital manufacturing. The Electronics and Information Technology Ministry said additive manufacturing has immense potential to revolutionize country's manufacturing and industrial production landscape. School bands have started performing at National War Memorial from today to celebrate its 3rd anniversary on the 25th of February. This evening, a school band from Thakur Dwar Balika Vidyalaya Ghaziabad performed at the National War Memorial, New Delhi. Tomorrow, a school band from Indirapuram Public School, Ghaziabad will perform at the War Memorial. The Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE, has prepared a schedule of school bands in consultation with the Ministry of Education and Government of NCT of Delhi to perform at the memorial to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the iconic monument on the 25th of this month.
The government has approved the continuation of the Central Sector Umbrella Scheme of Border Infrastructure and Management from 2021-22 to 2025-26 at a cost of 13,020 crore rupees. Home Ministry said it will strengthen the border infrastructure for improving border management, policing and guarding the borders. It further said the Border Infrastructure and Management Scheme will help in the creation of infrastructures such as the construction of border fences, border floodlights, technological solutions, border roads and border outposts, company operating bases.
Indian Air Force will participate in a multi-nation air exercise X-Cobra Warrior 22 at Waddington in United Kingdom from 6th to 27th of next month. IAF Light Combat Aircraft LCA Tejas will participate in the exercise along with fighter aircraft of UK and other leading air forces. Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Rameshwar Teli said that nearly 1 lakh people have got employment through the LPG distribution system under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana PMUY. He said LPG coverage has increased from 61.9% to near saturation level in the last 5 years. Mr. Teli was speaking in the post-budget webinar on Har Ghar Ujjwala, organized to accelerate development and make public welfare schemes effective.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Polling for the fourth phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh concludes. Around 58% voter turnout recorded till 5 p.m. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Nari Shakti is a major pillar of the rural economy, addresses webinar on budget announcements in rural development sector. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia releases Harvard study reports on India's COVID-19 vaccination program, says it will help to understand country's vaccination journey and fight against the pandemic. India is now an attractive hub for foreign investments in manufacturing sector, says Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh. In Gujarat, state board exams of class 10th and 12th will be conducted from March 28 to April 12. In Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot restores old pension scheme for employees appointed after January 1, 2004. Presents budget for financial year 2022-23. Latest edition of Indian Navy's multilateral exercise Milan 2022 to commence from Friday at Visakhapatnam. Enforcement Directorate arrests senior NCP leader and Maharashtra's Minority Affairs Minister Nawab Malik in connection with money laundering case. Spain women's hockey team arrives in Bhubaneswar for FIH Pro League matches against India. And in cricket, India-Sri Lanka 3-match T20 International Series begins in Lucknow tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव। Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
विदर्भ मातेच्या खुशीत दिव्य रत्न निपजले, श्रीसंत गडगे बाबा योगी प्रगटले,
In today's episode, we remember social reformer Gadge Maharaj, who was born on the 23rd of February 1876 in Amravati district, Maharashtra. A public teacher, he wandered to different villages wearing his food pan upturned on his head and carrying his trademark broom. When he entered a village, he would instantly start cleaning the gutters and roads of the village. From the money that villagers used to give him, he built educational institutions, dharamshalas, hospitals and animal shelters.
Gadge Baba was highly influenced by Dr. Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. He donated the building of his hostel at Pandharpur to the People's Education Society founded by Dr. Ambedkar. He used to cite the example of Ambedkar while urging the people to get educated, and said that education is not the monopoly of any class or caste. Baba Sahib also used to meet him frequently and had described him as the greatest servant of the people after Jyotirao Phule. We salute the great social reformer.
We also remember freedom fighters Ismail Khan and Abdul Ghani, who were martyred on the 23rd of February 1915 during the Singapore uprising. They were soldiers in the 5th Light Infantry Regiment of the British Indian Army at Singapore. On the 15th of February 1915, their regiment was getting ready to embark on a voyage to Hong Kong from Singapore. From there, they were to be sent against their will to Europe to take part in the action against Germany during the First World War.
Ismail Khan, who was influenced by the Ghadar movement, fired at an ammunition lorry from the quarter guard near Alexandra Barracks. Abdul Ghani and other Indian soldiers also joined him, killing many British officials and European civilians. Following a violent clash, the soldiers, who mostly belonged to the regions of Punjab and Haryana, were captured. They were charged with having broken oath as soldiers of the Crown and sentenced to be shot dead. 23 Indian soldiers were placed against the stakes under the open sky and shot dead on the 23rd of February 1915. We salute the great martyrs.
We also remember martyr Abdul Ali, who died while participating in a demonstration in support of the Royal Indian Navy Ratings Rebellion on the 23rd of February 1946.
The ratings of the Royal Indian Navy battleship HMIS Talwar, docked at Bombay, went on strike on the 18th of February 1946 over the issues of bad food and adverse living conditions. Following their capture of the naval trucks, the ratings went all out to urge the people of Bombay to rise in support of their uprising, which was spread to 78 ships and 22 units all along the Indian coastline.
In response to their call, several possessions were taken out in Bombay. Abdul Ali received severe bullet wounds in the British police firing on a demonstration he took part in Bombay on the 23rd of February 1946 and died on the same day. We salute the great son of the soil. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Ministry of External Affairs celebrated Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav today by inaugurating projects reflecting Buddhist linkages with ASEAN and East Asian countries. Minister of State for External Affairs Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh joined the celebrations. The dignitaries unveiled books of Jatak tales translated into Thai, Korean, Vietnamese and Chinese languages. A joint team of scientists from Defence Research and Development Organisation DRDO and Indian Institute of Technology IIT Delhi for the first time in the country successfully demonstrated quantum key distribution link between Prayagraj and Vindhyachal in Uttar Pradesh, a distance of more than 100 kilometers. This technological breakthrough was achieved over a commercial-grade optical fibre already available in field. Minister of State for External Affairs Meenakshi Lekhi has said that India is in favour of rules-based order and peace should be maintained. Replying to a media query on Ukraine-Russia crisis on the sidelines of an event in New Delhi today, Ms. Lekhi said all stakeholders should resort to talks to resolve differences. She said India is trying to reach out to Indian students and other people abroad, especially in Ukraine. The minister said they should stay in touch with the Indian embassy and the mission will help them out.
Women's hockey team of Spain arrived on Tuesday in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, ahead of the two-legged contest against the host India in the FIH Hockey Pro League 2021-22 scheduled to take place on February 26th and 27th at the Kalinga Hockey Stadium. Matches will be played on Saturday and Sunday at 1700 hours Indian Standard Time. The Spanish men's team also arrived on Monday in Bhubaneswar to face the host India in the FIH Hockey Pro League two-legged tie scheduled to take place on February 26th and 27th at the same venue. The matches will be played on Saturday and Sunday at 1930 hours Indian Standard Time. Team India will face Sri Lanka in the first T20 international encounter of three-match series tomorrow at the Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee Ekana Cricket Stadium in Lucknow. The match will start at 7 p.m. Rohit Sharma will lead the team and Dasun Shanaka will take command of the Sri Lanka T20 squad. In terms of numbers, India is listed at the second position in the T20I ICC ranking, whereas Sri Lanka is sitting at the 9th position, which proves India is in very good form as compared to Sri Lanka. The second and third T20 international will be played on 26th and 27th at the Himachal Pradesh Cricket Association Stadium in Dharamshala.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 14 and 27 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 32 degrees. Chennai is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 25 and 33 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 19 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 30 degrees. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 1 and 8 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature will be 12 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 18 degrees. Leh is likely to have light snow. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain. Visakhapatnam will have partly cloudy sky with haze. Hyderabad will have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Bengaluru will have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later. Thiruvananthapuram will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Guwahati will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Polling for fourth phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh concludes. Around 58% voter turnout recorded till 5 p.m. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Nari Shakti is a major pillar of the rural economy. Addresses webinar on budget announcements in rural development sector. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia releases Harvard study reports on India's COVID-19 vaccination program. Says it will help to understand country's vaccination journey and fight against pandemic. India is now an attractive hub for foreign investments in manufacturing sector, says Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh. In Gujarat, state board exams of class 10th and 12th will be conducted from March 28 to April 12. In Rajasthan, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot restores old pension scheme for employees appointed after 1st of January 2004, presents budget for financial year 2022-23. Latest edition of Indian Navy's multilateral exercise Milan 2022 to commence from Friday at Visakhapatnam. Enforcement Directorate arrests senior NCP leader and Maharashtra's Minorities Affairs Minister Nawab Malik in connection with money laundering case. And in cricket, India-Sri Lanka 3-match T20 International Series begins in Lucknow tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.